Welcome into T4G Gamers. Today we're going to be breaking down whether or not you need an offense coordinator and a defense coordinator matching your playbooks and schemes. And the quick answer to this is no, not really. And a side note, we get a lot of people asking us, well, do we need these playbooks and schemes in order to be very successful? And of course you do not. You can be very successful with other playbooks and schemes. However, I just have to warn you that if you do face someone with our playbooks and schemes who have players that match with their archetypes, those playbooks and schemes, and have good traits, then you are likely going to be in a dogfight of monstrous proportions. Even if your teams are equal across the board and overall, you're probably going to lose, and you could lose by ungodly numbers. And I'm being dead honest with you on this. Like Washington, for example, has one of the best defensive lines in the game, and this almost 99 across the board. Okay, they have a Mutt-style defensive line. They have a quarterback who's a 90 overall, who's a 2-year pro. They have wide receivers who are very talented. Okay, and they got a defense that is just atrocious. And you've seen how that worked for them. 15-77. By the start of the third quarter, we were basically ready to just go home at this point in time. It was really bad. And then when the fourth quarter hit, we almost ran the entire fourth quarter just to try to run the clock out. It was 70-12 at the start of the fourth quarter. And this team is equal to us. And with these playbooks and schemes, we wanted to cover every element of what comprises a great football team. Passing yards, receiving yards, rushing yards, TDs, sacks, interceptions, tackles, right? We wanted to just blanket everything, and that's what we did. Remember, this guy is a 90 overall 2-year pro. He's someone that people would trade for in a heartbeat, and he had 4 interceptions, 7 sacks with only a 54.2 quarterback rating, and this guy has won awards for how good he is beating other quarterbacks. And you can see Desmond Ridder here, 3 interceptions, which is pretty poor for him, but he had 6 TDs with only 1 sack, 480 yards, 125 flat passer rating. Our running back, Breece Hall, had even more average yards per carry in the start of the fourth quarter, but because we were up by so much that we just gave him the ball just all the time, just to try and run out the clock. And he was double-fisting it, just freaking having both hands on the ball and just trying to run out the clock for us. So his rushing yards actually, or his yards per carry actually went down. But he's still rocking a 5.1 yards per carry with 194 yards with 1 TD. You got your receiving yards. We had 2 receivers at over 100 yards, okay, with 3 touchdowns between 2 of them. And that's not even talking our other guys that we have down here. And it's just crazy. Defensively, we just had plenty of tackles. We had multiple guys with over 15 tackles. We had a single defensive player with 4 sacks, 2.5 sacks from our D tackle. They did get a guy with 2 sacks, but then we just obviously kept crushing it with 4 interceptions across the board as well. So for our offensive coordinator, we have Henry Brock, and he does not fit our playbooks and schemes, but that really doesn't matter. I mean, how much more do we have to be perfect? To what level? We got to score 120 points in a single game? Outscore what teams can do in an entire year just to be satisfied? No, I don't think we do. And the last thing I want to do is I keep my points at 977, and I haven't gotten rid of Henry Brock. I probably will this next year, but I haven't gotten rid of him. And the reason is because I don't want to keep feeding the rest of the league. I want to starve the league out. That's what I want to do. I want to starve them out while I feast. That's the best way. This is a business at the end of the day. And it isn't a charity. So a part of you has to be kind of mean, and it's not outside of this. I'll be nicer than ever, but during this, I'm going to starve out my competition. And that's what I'm going to do. Sammy Rios, I'm going to take him everywhere I go. He's on my Texans rebuild. He's on our Flyers 30-year rebuild. He's on our Falcons rebuild here that you can see. And he goes with me everywhere. He fits our playbooks and schemes. But let's say you don't get him. Let's say someone else watched this video and they snag him up before you get him. Are you still going to be successful? The chances are yes, you will. And if you want to get a defense coordinator and an offense coordinator to fit your schemes because you want to be perfect with that, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong. But our suggestion to you, if you go to do this, is that you should wait before you upgrade these guys. You should wait until the end of the year when you could do the staff signing. Then you get a bunch more coaches open to you, and then you can sign those coaches from there and then invest points on them. The first few years, you're probably not going to want to upgrade your offense and defense coordinator as much as you would think. Okay, you're going to want to upgrade your head coach and then go from there. You want to make sure your head coach is perfect because that's where it starts, from the head down. Okay, the head coach is very important, very, very important. We're going to have a video too on talking about how to upgrade and when to upgrade your coordinators and your head coach. Hopefully this helped you guys and you got something from it.